Hi, my name is Kate Cosgrove, and I am a children's book illustrator. My latest book, And the Bullfrogs Sing, A Life Cycle, by author David L. Harrison, illustrated by me, Kate Cosgrove, and published by Holiday House Books for Young Readers. With the permission of Holiday House, I'm here today to do a frog drawing lesson. Normally I do my drawing with pencil, but I'm challenging myself with 4 crayons. I have a very dark green crayon, I have a light green crayon, I have a pink crayon, and a purple crayon. And I am going to be referencing one of my favorite frogs from the book, which is on page 14, where this frog is leaping in the air and zapping that spider with his long tongue. I'll leave him out for reference. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to start with my dark green crayon. I tend to, when I'm drawing frogs especially, I start with drawing their eyes. So we're going to start with that. And I would describe that shape as an upside down U, or like a frown mouth. So take your green crayon, kind of towards the top of the paper. We're going to do that upside down U, or frowny mouth. And then because of how the frog's head is sort of angled, we're going to draw a straight line, but it is going to angle down a little bit, even though it's just a straight line. That. And then we're going to do another frowny mouth upside down U shape. The next step is sort of the cheekbone of the frog. So starting at the base of the eye, just a small line that sort of, it's straight, but it kind of swoops out a little bit of a swoop. And then we're going to leave a tiny space right here. And then we're going to swoop back for the bottom lip of the frog, but leave a little space there because that's where your future tongue is going to go. So bottom lip, swoop back a little bit. Little, kind of like a comma shape. Now we're going to start with that bottom lip comma shape, and it's going to mound out to do the tummy of the frog. So it kind of swoops out and then back towards the center. And if you're kind of lining it up, like right in between the eyes, it should kind of stop right there. Now frogs have, their backside has sort of like a pointy backside. So we're gonna start right down at that bottom there, the halfway point bottom, and kind of like swoop back. Like that. And then because it points, that will be like a corner where we swoop back towards the eye. So let me demonstrate. A little bit of a swoop. See, so he has kind of a pointy backside. He has a space for his tongue. He has his tummy. He has his bulbous eyes. Now we're going to go back to that lower lip and circle back around to the lower pointy spot for his stomach area. So bear with me just a second. Like that. See right there, kind of starting to look like a frog. Now we're gonna do his leg. So frog legs are not, like, their shape isn't completely different from a human leg. They of course do this with them a lot, but if the shape of them, they have a thigh, a knee, and a calf. So we're gonna start with that upper thigh, and we're gonna start right kind of just below the tummy. We're gonna put a line for the thigh. And then a little curve for the knee, which is actually not too different from the curve up here. It's just pointing, you know, in this direction. And then the shin bone goes straight down. And then we're going to start back up here at the inner thigh. So leave a little space for the inner thigh and go back to that knee shape. So swoop back to the knee. And then we're going to swoop that calf down to the ankle. And then we're going to put a line flaring out from the ankle. So kind of like a roof would flare out at the point like that. And then we're going to zigzag the toes from one end to the other. The typical frogs do have 5 toes, but you might not be able to fit 5 toes in there. And this is not a scientific drawing, so that's fine. However many toes you fit is probably fine. Maybe your frog is like a mutant frog and it has like 20 toes. I don't know. So we're going to zigzag sort of like the top of a crown. Zigzag like this. So it's line, 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 and then we'll come back out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did it! 5 toes. Okay, the next leg, we're gonna start that upper thigh right here, just below the hip point, the backside point. We're gonna start it right there. Only he's gonna have his leg coming up towards the sky. So I am going to have it kind of swoop up. That. And then I'm going to do a knee, like that, and then that shin bone, just like our shin bone. And then we're going to start again with that inner thigh and swoop towards the knee. So you've got the inner thigh swooping towards the knee. And then swooping again towards the ankle for the calf. Right there. Now this foot's going to be a little more like, almost like a diver flipper. So we're going to give him a little heel, which is similar to the knee bump, similar to that eye bump. We're just going to do this little bump here. And then we're going to fan out the foot just like you did this other one. So a line out and a line out. Line out, line out. And then you get to zigzag those toes. So start from the one end, line up, and then we're gonna zigzag, we're gonna zag, and then zig, and zag, all the way to that edge. So your toe should look something like that. Okay, now we're gonna do his upper arms. Right here, kind of halfway, but a little bit closer to the top. We'll start with that, with this shoulder. So like this. And then we're gonna take a line kind of sort of straight up towards the sky. So it kind of looks like, you know, so this is gonna be the inner elbow pit, kind of, let me see, if I were to do this right here. Inner elbow pit. Okay. Then we're going to start in the armpit, and we're going to mimic those lines, or duplicate, mimic, whatever the word you want to use. Right there. And we have an elbow. A little elbow. And go back towards the wrist. And again, we're gonna fan out the sides of his hand. His hand fans outwards. So we'll do one line going one way and another line going the other way. So we add a line here, a line there, and then we get to zigzag those toes back together. I think that frog hand toes have just 4 toes. 2, 3. And we're zigzagging that back, like the top of a crown, just zigzag back to the other edge so that you have just like that. And then we're going to start again, kind of right here. We'll do another little shoulder, like that, and an elbow. We'll make that arm come down a little bit. And then so this arm's like this, or that part of the arm. Like that. And then we're gonna start in that armpit again, right in his little froggy pit. Kind of go back up to that elbow. And then we're gonna swoop it back down to the wrist. And then again, we're gonna fan out the 2 sides of his hands. Like that. Right. And then we're gonna zigzag. So 1 toe, then down, then up, down, up, then down, so that you have his little fingery toes, like that. And now we're gonna do his nostrils, which are his nose holes. And I did learn from the book that I thought was kind of cool. Bullfrogs, when they're hibernating underwater, they breathe through their skin. But when they're out on land, they breathe through their nose holes. Don't pick your nose holes. Okay, so 2 dots for his nostrils. Like that. And then we're gonna do his eyes. So the eyes are gonna have 2 circle shapes in them. The outer one is sort of shaped like the top of a mushroom, so it kind of domes up and flattens out. So we'll do that and flatten out. So right inside, right there. And then we'll do it again over here. So dome, flat, like that. And then I'm gonna have him, so the next eye dot is the one that's sort of the thing that follows what the frog is looking at. So instead of having these eye dots right in the center of the eye, I'm gonna have him more in the corner of the eye because I'm gonna have him looking where his tongue is eventually gonna be going. So in the corner of the eye, I'm just gonna do just a circle like the nostrils. Just dark circle, so he's looking, so in the corner of this eye, you can see that. And now we get to make the tongue. So take your pink crayon, or whatever color you want it to be, I guess. And we're gonna have it shoot out of his mouth. The tongue shoots out of his mouth. And so the tongue shape is sort of like a long line that kind of curves up at the end like a candy cane. So almost like a candy cane shape. And yours can be as long as you want it to be. Like if it gets super long, as long as it fits on the paper. Like if it's super long, it's kind of funny. If it's too short, he's not really gonna be able to catch much food. So we're just gonna do a long line, like that. And then curve up towards the top. That candy cane and that. And then I'm gonna use my dark crayon and just kind of fill in, connect that part so that it closes right around his tongue. And then you get to put whatever you want him to be eating, which I think is kind of cool. So I'm gonna use my purple crayon to draw a fly, but maybe you want yours to be a spider or a taco, or, you know, it's up to you. But I'm gonna just demonstrate real quick a fly. So we're gonna do a little kind of ovally dark shape there. And then the head, like a small dark circle right there. And then I'm gonna draw the wing is sort of just like a teardrop shape that lands on the back of the fly body. And I'm gonna do another of those swoopy teardrop shapes. And then it's kind of funny to draw just like some legs, in my opinion. And then you can decorate your frog with, you know, I might use this lighter green to color in his tummy. And a lot of frogs have kind of polka dotty spots all over them. So you can, you know, draw some spots on your frog. I mean, maybe your frog has stripes. And there's my frog and his fly. I'm gonna write my name at the bottom so that when my mom hangs this on her refrigerator, she knows that I made it and my sister can't take credit for it. So there you go. I would really love to see your frogs. I bet yours are cooler than mine. This was a lot of fun. I would love to draw with you again sometime. So thanks. I'll see you again.